Howdy, Brian Sikansky here from the Email Profit. I'm talking about sales funnels today. And what I'm going to do is first define what a funnel is, because it's not always automatically clear how it can help you and your business. So I'm going to help you further understand what it's all about. Number two, I'm going to diagram what an actual funnel looks like with working with some of my clients, how we actually put it together, what are some of the steps that we put in there, and what is some of the purpose of some of those steps. And number three, I'm going to show you an actual funnel that I actually went through in clicking on a Facebook ad, how one of the course creators out there actually using a funnel to work people through and actually get them to be a paying client. So number one is really defining what a sales funnel is. And it's really just a tool for you to move through those prospects that are showing some interest in your business, getting them to know you a little bit better, and ultimately get to some type of sale or purchase that you're looking for. So this is really helpful for you as a business owner because you can only talk to so many people in one given day or time period. So your time is very limited. And as your business grows, obviously the demands on you as a business owner are going to be stretched a little bit more. So a sales funnel allows you to reach, go out there to the real world and find as many people and prospects as possible. Do it in an automated fashion, and really kind of capture your time. So using things like video and email and automated text message to really kind of multiply the exposure that you have with your outside audience, get your time, your story, a little bit more about your business and the solutions that you provide out into the world in a more automated fashion. You can do it more strategically. You can do it more quickly without you having to actually get on the phone or writing a more customized email. So people get to know you and your story and the solutions that you can provide and get a better sense of how you can help them. And along the way, you're kind of qualifying those people so that when you eventually do get on the phone with them or sit with a face-to-face meeting with them, you know that they're the right client for you or customer for you because they've kind of gone through several different hurdles. They've kind of qualified themselves. They've given you a little bit more information, and the same way they've kind of shown interest in your business by kind of checking the boxes and saying, okay, I've learned what I want to know here. Give me a little bit more, whether it's in the form of email or text message to do that. So in a second, I'll walk you through a diagram that'll give a little bit more clarity on what I mean there. But really the design is to, as you scale your business, using this sales funnel to kind of work prospects through that process of getting to know you, making sure that they have that confidence level that you are the right solution for their pain point. And same thing for your business, making sure that whoever you're taking on as a client or who's purchasing for you is that right person, and kind of qualifying them along the way, getting to know them along the way so that you can put the right item in front of them or service in front of them, depending on your business, that's the right match. So maybe I'll just go and show you what a diagram of what a sales funnel might look like. So again, each funnel can look different depending on your business, whether it's a product or service, but this kind of gives you a snapshot of what it might look like and what I've used with my own clients as well. So really starts here with kind of that online ad. That's kind of the easiest way to use a sales funnel is using Facebook ads, YouTube ads to really capture your specific audience and get in front of them. So I tend to use more story-based video to capture people's attention, start to develop that process of getting to know you or using video and that story-based framework to capture people's attention. What I've seen more recently, especially in the last few weeks and months, is that's where you're getting the lowest cost conversion. So once they've kind of clicked through into your online ad, you've kind of captured their attention, you've captured their interest. They want to learn more about your business and your service, depending on what you cover. It goes through to an automated text message service where they're going to ask for their name, their email, and their phone number. Again, it's very important to kind of collect this information because along the way you want to be able to reach out to people through various different mediums as we go through, and that'll become clear in a second. So once they opt in, it's always good to provide some value up front. So the two ways that I really do this is really through some type of guide. So you'll see this kind of in the online world in terms of what they call lead magnets. And it really is kind of just a PDF. Could be, a 1 to 2 page PDF. It can be, a 30-page PDF. It can be more like a book, but really just a guide to provide value that really tells a little bit, introduces you as the business owner, gives them a little bit more about your personal story, but also gets into a little bit what are some of the solutions that you provide, and why should your audience, that person that opted in, why should they care about the solution that you provide. Another way of doing this is through a webinar. So you're really doing the same thing, just in a more video oriented setup with a set of slides as well. That's also a great way of doing it. It really just depends on your personal preference and what you think your audience would be most likely to consume. I've really used it both ways, so it's really depends on your comfort level. The webinar obviously takes a little bit more comfort, takes a little bit more practice to get comfortable doing that, but you can certainly get that way. But if you record a webinar, that's obviously a good way to get out in front of your prospects. They can see you as well, so that's a good way to get that introduction for that. And then once they've kind of gone through this, kind of goes through both sides. So on the text message side, usually use something called ManyChat, and what that does is it, depending on what online ad you started with. So I'll take the example of Facebook. We might use Facebook Messenger to send them some automated text messages to get a better idea of start that conversation. So text message is a very informal way to kind of start that conversation with your prospects, get a better idea of what their situation is like, what are they dealing with, what are some of their pain points, what are some of those experiences where those solutions that you offer might be a good fit, and then digging into a little bit more, what are some of those objections and hesitations that they might have with working with you or your business. That's always good to getting to that later stage of the process where you might be on the phone with them or meeting face to face. At the same time, you're sending out an automated email sequence where you're, again, sharing a little bit more about you and your business, sharing some of those stories that capture their attention, tell some of those stories. Same thing from a testimonial perspective. Share some of those past clients and customers that are just like these people that have opted in. Give them a sense that there is a multitude of success stories that they can follow, that your product, your service is proven and has worked with other people, and that's helpful as well. The other thing that's good within the email sequence is to kind of knock down some of those false beliefs as well. So education, providing value is a big portion of that as well. And within email, it's always a good opportunity to ask for some more information. So get them to reply, get a little bit more information about their situation. And that's going to help when you get further along in the process. The next step really just depends on what you offer as a business, but here's where I like to get into an application if it's possible. So this is just another opportunity to kind of qualify this customer or client that's coming through the door. If they're willing to fill out an application that shows that they're motivated to work with you, that they kind of saw value in these previous steps, and it also gives you the most amount of information when you get to a call or a face-to-face meeting. You're as prepared as possible, and you're set up to kind of close that sale or kind of work with that person pretty quickly within one meeting. So again, it depends on what your business is, what you're selling, whether it's a product or service. These kind of steps can change, but this just gives you a general framework of what the diagram might look like and how it can come to be. So with that, I wanted to show you an actual example of one of the ads that I clicked through within Facebook, and what, how these steps kind of come through as you look at that within that. So starting from the perspective, so again, this was an ad from Ben Riley with Course Clients. You can see within his ad library, he's got a bunch of different ads out here. So in terms of his funnels, just based upon the amount of money that he's spending on ads, it looks like his funnel is doing okay. And I think the one that really stuck out to me is at that time, it was a few weeks ago, where I was actually running course launch for one of my clients, and it was this ad right here where he he kind of talked about selling a course without having to use any of these outdated methods, like all the typical methods that you'd use for a typical course launch, whether it's emails or affiliates or launches. So developed enough curiosity that, okay, it was one of those that I kind of clicked through just to be curious about what he was actually selling. So just kind of these few lines here within the Facebook ad allowed me to kind of go down here and click this learn more button right here. And that ultimately brought me to the Messenger login. So again, this is where you kind of get that second step where you kind of continue. You can continue as me, and I'll just click ahead to where it actually went. So it ultimately went to my Facebook Messenger, and this is kind of where it all started. So really just an introductory, broadcast to me. So again, just a welcome. Here's what the playbook. Here's what you opted in for. So this is just a guide. Within that, here's everything that it include. Here's where you can go to actually download. So it provides a link. And if you wanted some additional training in there, that's where you can add in your email address, and that's what I did here as well. And then once you opted in there, you can get a link to the training as well. And I think one of the things that really stuck out to me is he said it here. This is actually me and not a bot. In reality, it is a bot that kind of went through. So, and I ultimately opted out of the messages here, but as you went along, and I think in the next business days, he probably would have come back and asked me a series of questions, like whether I did actually opt in for the training or not. Asked me a little bit more about my personal situation, and that would have led to, again, either a application or a call, depending on what his next process was. But just gives you an idea of what this automated text message sequence can look like. And obviously you start out with some automated messages like these, and then you or a member of your staff can kind of go in and ask some more open-ended questions to get a better idea of who is at the other end of the phone. And that's where you can do some a little bit more personalized selling, ultimately getting to that next action that you're looking for. So along with kind of the text message, he sent me the same thing, kind of a similar message via email. So again, giving me the link to the playbook, giving me a little bit more of a sense of what else is out there. So he's going to ask me to go to his YouTube channel. So he wants me to subscribe there. I think later down the line, asked me to join his Facebook group. So again, trying to just capture my attention across the various different mediums. So he's got me on his Messenger. He's got a messenger chain. He's got an email chain. He's asked me to do consume some of his information on his Facebook group, on YouTube. The idea is the more mediums that I'm consuming his information, getting to know him over a period of days and weeks, the more likely I am to work with him and take his trainings as well. And I think one of the good things that he's always asking me to do is kind of respond to this email, because again, that's another way of starting a conversation with me, but also helps his email deliverability. So again, I'm not sure what his call to action next is, whether it's an application or a call, but that's ultimately where it's leading towards, and just gives you a better sense of what a funnel might look like within Facebook or other online ads that are out there. So that's it for me. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. Happy to answer those. Otherwise, have a great day.